VGK turns to stone to tie this series up at 1 apiece.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Tony Kardasco along with Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas each and every day. You could find us on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, at Locked On VGK, and Locked On Golden Knights on your YouTube channel. So last night, Chris, the captain comes up big in his second game, returning back after being on the shelf for 39 games with that back injury. A couple of goals for Mark Stone in a 5-2 VGK victory with the Golden Knights leading 3-2. They turned to Stone, Stone scoring the goal after a Jets shot went off of Brossois' shoulder, caromed out to Stone, gets the breakout, and then buries the puck. And that was phenomenal. And then Stone, a lot of slot chances early. And let's talk first of all about him. And the way that he played in this game. He had that one forehand backhand attempt that should have gone in, and he just played so well, especially in front of Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah, I mean, so the attempt you're talking about just went off the heel of his stick. He had all the time in the world, and as he tried to make his final move, the puck just didn't go as quickly as it needed to. Great opportunity, great attempt, and it shows that Mark Stone still has his instincts and his patience. Not a lot of players possess that. Not a lot of high-level players possess that and understand at that moment what needs to be done to get the puck past a great goaltender. And, Connor Hellebuyck, they solved him last night, but Hellebuyck still had a really good game. If you go back and watch the goals that were given up, high danger chances, deflections, and things like that. Not taking anything away from the VGK either when I say that. So yeah, Mark Stone, surprised he didn't throw his back out in that first celebration. Good Lord, that was, you knew what was coming. You knew he was going to have an epic celebration. And it wasn't just about Mark Stone. It was watching the players around him, how happy they were to see him score, because they knew the second he did score, it was going to blow the roof off the place. And it just did. I mean, it was an absolute explosion of excitement from the T-Mobile crowd.
First goal for Mark Stone since January, so nice return in front of his parents who were there at T-Mobile Arena. We spoke yesterday.
Let's see what you got coming next. I want to hear who you say next now. I had a good game. I'm waiting.
Chandler Stevenson. And, we spoke yesterday about the importance of winning faceoffs. I want to go there first. And, it was phenomenal because 3 goals, including that Stevenson goal, came off of the faceoff. That was a terrific effort by Chandler Stevenson on that goal. And I think that Bruce Cassidy knew what was coming, and he really scouted Winnipeg very well, saying that the weakness with Hellebuyck is to score goals off of rebounds, right? There was no rebound control in front of the net for the most part last night. So I'm going to credit, first of all, Bruce Cassidy, and then 3 goals coming off of face-off wins. That's big.
Stone, Cassidy,
right?
Face-offs, Stevenson, and then Carlson. Hellebuyck. Okay, that's fine. I can dig that.
And then, okay.
So you're crediting Hellebuyck before Carlson? No, listen, the rebound control, that is fair. There were a couple times where Hellebuyck did leave some rebounds, and dude also got his bell rung a couple of times. Jack Eichel tried to decapitate him with that one slap shot, and there is like this kind of 95
miles an hour hits him right in the mask and cuts him wide open.
There is this one thing that I've heard for a long time. You hit a goalie in the head early in the game, it does throw them off. And not that anyone's out there headhunting, but you take something like that and you cut them open. Listen, look what happened when Rocky finally cut Ivan Drago in Rocky IV, how the mighty have fallen. So there you go. We cut him. He's human. There you go.
Rocky before I credit that other guy. And I'm going to credit Jack Eichel for scoring his first playoff
Dragon
goal.
Too.
First playoff goal.
Yeah, no, again, another explosion, you knew the second Eichel got a home playoff goal, it was gonna, and listen, talk about someone owning the moment, just a good celebration with the crowd and stuff like that. It brings you to your feet wherever you're watching, whether you're at T-Mobile, whether you're sitting down and was at section like 3 where he celebrated in front of, or whether you're at home watching the game, it gets you a fist pump going. So it's exciting, and I'll pat myself on the back for my locks of the night. We went with Eichel and Stone, and that would have paid some American dollars if I could have got some action on a parlay in this town. But it's all good.
Okay, let's finally talk about your guy, William Karlsson. I mean,
that's all. That's the buildup. You're just gonna put it all to me, huh? Okay.
No, someone said yesterday that he was playing the best hockey of his career. That's
let's pump the brakes.
Yeah, truly. Like a media member was like, "This is the best hockey that he's ever played." No,
he's playing well. Playing well. He's expectations of a $5 million center are, for the first 2 games, 6 million. Okay, fine.
6 million.
The expectations for the first 2 games, at least, are delivering as far as big goals and playing on both sides of the ice while creating opportunities. So, he scored the first 2 goals for the VGK of the series, right? He scored the first one on Tuesday, and then he opened up the scoring, what ended up, basically like the old pitcher with the no-hitter type of situation, kind of opened up the floodgates. So Karlsson's playing well, creating opportunities. He got at least one additional assist, I believe, last night as well. So it's important. And I kind of said it just more tongue in cheek to mess with you a little bit when I was with Gil about a week and a half ago about which VGK player really needs to get going. And I said William Karlsson, just kind of on a whim, so to speak. And it's working out so far. And if we can have multiple players, people not named Eichel, people not named Stone, willing to carry the mail, you look at someone like Karlsson, that's certainly going to create some matchup nightmares for hopefully the multiple teams the VGK is going to face in the playoffs.
It was more of a team effort, but you have to hand it to the superstars for showing up, for Mark Stone and for Jack Eichel, which we addressed on yesterday's show. VGK outshot by Winnipeg, Chris, 17-6 in that first period. And then the rest of the way, it was 33-16 VGK. And the key to success was getting in front of the net.
It was getting in front of the net, getting on the inside areas, and the speed. And something I was kind of trying to, in the 3 minutes I was preparing myself for the show, which actually is more than the average for me.
Wow, you went all out today.
I did. But just trying to think about, like, part of the keys to the victory last night was the Vegas Golden Knights finding their speed through the neutral zone. And something I was thinking about, if you asked me, so I'll ask you, is how do you think the team found their speed? What happened between the first and second period, besides Cassidy probably laying into them and, whatever was said? Like, what was the key to finding the speed in the neutral zone? And I don't have an answer for that in my head.
Well, I thought at a certain point in the game, I felt that Winnipeg was a little bit fatigued in that second period. I could just see VGK playing at a faster speed, and thus, good exits and entries, obviously, out of the neutral zone. And so that's what I felt actually happened after a good first pass.
Period.
Yeah, after a first period in which we sensed a lot of frustration out of VGK. We had fights in the game. This was playoff hockey. Please, Mr. Referee, be more consistent with your penalty calls. A very bad penalty taken by Petro, although he shouldn't have been the only player.
Wheeler came in there. Petro was fourth. Wheeler was, I believe it was Wheeler. Wheeler was the third one in there. So in a spot, so a couple ways you handle that. And at that point, the game was getting a little bit squirrely. When you have stuff like this happening a lot, it's like I went through this in a beer league game, and I know it's many, many notches below the NHL, but in this, what I'm about to tell you isn't that far different than what they do in the NHL. It gets to the point where if they're doing all this nonsense after the whistle, you go to both benches, or you tell the captain, or even just one player on team, guys, listen, we're going to stop taking 2 players. We're going to take 1 player at a time. We're going to put one of you guys short. You're not going to know who it's going to be. And if you want to take that risk and put your team short, you keep doing this, and insert swear word here, and we'll just take whoever we feel like taking. So that's what I think happened with Pietrangelo. And fine, so be it. If you're going to take 1 to try and send that message there, no problem whatsoever. But the next one, where they took 2 no more than 2 minutes later, didn't make any sense to me.
No.
Even if they only take 1 VGK, which would have been terrible as well, at least that would have been consistent. At least they would have been, you guys want to keep doing this, we're just going to keep taking one, whoever we feel like. And that will slow the players down. So that's certainly, will earn some criticism from me. And I don't criticize the refs too often other than that. And honestly, but after that, like those couple of times, it slowed down. Like the third period didn't have a whole lot of that.
Second period, it started to slow down a lot.
Yes.
And that's when
exactly.
VGK
And the players got out of their
game.
system. And
yeah,
maybe the refs did the right thing because it slowed down. Maybe they got control of the game, which is important for both sides, because you don't want someone getting hurt after the play. You don't want someone going down, in that. Neither team wants that to happen.
I want to get back to Stone. I said an over-under. I said if he plays more than 21 and a half minutes, it would be an L. I just felt that he wasn't going to be able to sustain that back and forth, up and down the ice. 17 minutes, 47 seconds. Okay. So they cut down by 6 minutes, but he had more efficient shifts.
They weren't chasing the game too. They were rolling 4 lines, which also was a big help too. They were behind in the first. That didn't last too long.
Right. 5 shots on goal for Stone, in good position, as we mentioned, in front of the net. Larry Brossoit, Lawrence, if you will, Brossoit, 31 saves, 2 off of his face mask too. So he got blitzed a lot in that first period. And how about the series in which Hellebuyck somehow kept that puck out of the net in the first period? That was
God, that was amazing. So we
save.
Had just turned the game on. Or no, actually, no, we were, our feed was a little bit choppy is what happened. And all of a sudden it kicks on like right at that moment. And they're showing the goal graphic on TBS. I see the goal graphic, but no one's celebrating. I'm like, what just happened? And I see like Mark Stone pointing down, and then we get the replay from the other side. I'm like, wow, that's a save. That's
phenomenal.
It's a fantastic save, and Hellebuyck's going to have more of those. He's going to have more of those, and
especially at home.
Say that again.
Especially at home. On home ice.
Winnipeg is a tough place to play, even though VGK is 2-0 in their lifetime against Winnipeg on the road. They're 2-1. They lost game 1, and they won the next 2 games. Winnipeg is a very tough place to play. It might be the most, or one of the top 2 or 3 most intimidating atmospheres in all of hockey, as far as the whiteout and the crowd, and their fans are great. I remember interacting with them, a lot during the conference final when they were here a few years ago. Awesome fans, fun environment, and the VGK will feed off of it too. The key to, and we'll probably hit more of this obviously in segment 2, is just surviving the first 4 or 5 minutes in Winnipeg. That's one of the many keys.
Okay, we saw one surprise. Adin Hill was the backup last night. And I thought in that first, with that flurry in the first period, I was like, there's no way that Brossoit was going to last in this game. I just started to sense that
you're getting heat for your Adin Hill thing right now, Tony. You're getting heat.
No, I thought that they liked it. Some guy called me an idiot, but he said the idiot's actually right. No? Did he say that?
Okay, so 2 negatives equal a positive. Sure.
Yeah.
They cancel each other out.
Right.
No, I mean, listen, it's fair. Adin Hill is a good.
I've got to have some takes. I have an opinion on everything, as you might have learned.
Oh, I'm sure you do. No, Adin Hill is definitely a good option if we need. I'm trying to think of a better thing to say, and I panicked there. So, Adin Hill is good to have just in case something doesn't go well. But the net's going to be Brossoit. I will say, and maybe I'm in the minority here, a lot of times I felt Brossoit was looking for the puck, like looking where the puck wasn't. He seemed a little bit slow at times to me. And when you're watching,
the one that went off his shoulder, he never saw, and it led to the goal by Stone.
Yeah, no, that was good strategy. Good strategy. Close your eyes, let the puck hit you, get a goal, and that's what keeps you in the NHL these days.
The William Karlsson theory.
Exactly. You're watching his game. It's just, I don't know, like it's just something, and this isn't like a now thing. This is an always thing for me. He just sometimes he doesn't, like you're saying right now, doesn't see the puck as well. And there's times when he's just kind of looking the opposite way, and it scares you. And listen, we're not taking anything away from what he's accomplished. He is the starter. It's going to be his net for the rest of the series, hopefully, because if he does remain in there, he's keeping the team in the game. And, we don't want there to be a better option right now. So hopefully things keep going this way. And he'll be comfortable in Winnipeg as well. We're talking about the atmosphere, so that's not a bad thing either, I guess.
Okay, one other note. Braden McNabb, he injures himself on a big hit on Niedermeyer. Comes out of the game, goes down the tunnel, but then he returns shortly thereafter and was back on the ice. So that is good news for VGK.
Let me hit on that really fast. So
Yeah.
they said something interesting on TBS with that. And I believe Pietrangelo was sitting next to him. And the TV broadcast, I don't know if it was Shane or it was Eddie from the booth. I forgot which one caught
Why
it.
is a homer for VGK on a national broadcast?
They always do that. They always do that for all the games. That just randomly happens. And Shane's fine. But point being is Pietrangelo, I believe, I could be wrong, but it was one of the VGK players that actually signaled the trainer over to talk with McNabb, which eventually led to him going off. So I don't know if that's like a possible, I think Sinbin said it was possibly a hand injury, which I don't know if I saw that.
No, it looked like he was
concussion is the first
bit.
thing I thought. Maybe he just knocked himself funny and felt kind of funny. Because I mean, what else are you going to see sitting next to someone on the bench and you're going to be like, trainer, go?
Yeah,
you know.
Petro told him.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Again, we have coming up next a preview of Saturday's whiteout game in Winnipeg. We'll talk about that and much, much more. Don't forget WTF, What the Friday. We got to save some time for that, Chris. We return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. For a championship team, it's all about making sure that every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time that you need parts and accessories, you can head to eBay Motors with eBay Guaranteed Fit. You can just make sure that every part that you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and then look for the green check to know that this part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time at all. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick. We come to you each and every day from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen. And you can find us, of course, on our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe there. So, Chris, a raucous crowd awaits VGK in Winnipeg on Saturday. It's going to be a matinee. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Some of the keys coming into this game, VGK, first of all, has a lot of momentum. They showed in the first period Winnipeg to win that series between VGK and the Jets was minus 150 to win the series. What are they now? It's got to be about even. One of the keys again.
VGK was minus 150 after game one losing?
No, Winnipeg minus 150. Yes. You could have gotten a really good series price in the first period. I don't know. It's probably evened out now. And it might still be about even.
It should be short for Winnipeg just because they got home ice, but short at best.
VGK cannot afford to turn over the puck in the neutral zone. We saw a lot of that in the first period. It's a part they need to clean up. Again, with the big win, you don't discuss the power play very much, but VGK 0 for 4 last night. And plus, they have to stay out of the box. And now on the power play, they are just 2 for their last 26. And 3 Winnipeg power play goals, right, in this series. And the dumb penalties, they just have to really cut down there. Hits in game 2, 73-64 in favor of Winnipeg. I don't think that that's been a factor so far, although if this series goes 7, who knows? I mean, it could be a big factor. And then one other question here. Does Larry Brossoit go? You kind of alluded to it a little bit in the first segment there, Chris. Does Larry B, does he go the entire series in net? I know that he owns the net, but you just stick with the hot hand until otherwise. He got beat top shelf last night, by the way. That could be a sign of big things to come.
VGK is minus 155 in the series right now. That's a bad price. You could have
gotten good value early.
You could have gotten plus on both sides. So, folks, the playoffs are such a roller coaster, unexpected, whatever terminology you want to use. But, you know, if you play your cards right, so to speak, there's opportunities to get pluses on both sides and, you know, basically hedge your bets if you're sharp enough to do so. In this case, if you didn't, you know, believe in the Jets after game 1, you take VGK, you get them at a nice plus. Now you come back and you get the Jets at a nice plus, and you're going to make money no matter what happens. So just something to consider down the line, so to speak, if anyone wants to play with some money and have some fun. So back to going to Winnipeg. Yes. Well, first of all, Brossoit, it's his Nets, and it's not even that right in a hot hand. He's the starting goaltender. He is our starting netminder come, right now. Is anyone going to simply take his spot for something that's non-performance based right now? I think the answer is no. And basically the only thing I'm saying there is if Logan Thompson returns to health, which I don't see that happening right now. I don't even know if he's been skating. I honestly have been watching the reports on LT. Adin Hill is not just going to walk in and say, okay, I'm taking the net back right now. We know how Cassidy, feels about Adin Hill. So that's not going to be happening. Just general back to Winnipeg. Survive the opening period because that crowd's crazy. Winnipeg is going to feed off of it. And this is where Brossoit, being a former Winnipeg Jet, being close with many of the players in Winnipeg, it's going to help him ease the minds of the rest of the players through the first, at least the first 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes of the first one is going to be nuts.
Yeah. And of course, Winnipeg taking back the home ice here in this series, 26-13-2, Chris, at home. And they have won 5 out of 6. And so yes, to your point, you can be very dangerous at home.
I feel like VGK's road record is better than Winnipeg's home record.
Yeah, but Winnipeg's home record more than VGK's home record. Okay,
see, this is why you watch the YouTube, folks. You don't get this on the audio side right here.
No, you definitely don't. I think VGK and Cassidy alluded to it too last night. One of the keys was they really put different lines on the Dubois line to make things more difficult, so they couldn't really get into a groove and get started. That could have been one of the keys, one of the turning points in the game where they just started to neutralize that top line. That's a big deal. And Bonus last night said that VGK was the better team. I tweeted out yesterday, the key to the game, shoot the MF puck. And I'm not talking Mark Fleury. They needed to shoot the puck last night, and they did. And there was one time where Eichel drew a penalty because he took the puck to the net. It's just pretty simple.
Went to the heavy, dirty areas. All the things that. So it's interesting reading between the lines, the players' comments and stuff like that. You watched, first of all, you saw a lot better interior play last night, and Bruce Cassidy, I forgot his exact quote, but I feel like he used the word standard. Jack Eichel last night uses the word standard, basically saying this was, more along the lines of our standards. So the team is buying in right now. There is an overall buy-in to everything happening. Knock on whatever you have on your desk right now. This team stays healthy. And the other thing about Mark Stone here, we'll keep going back to this. This is only game 2 Mark Stone right now. This is game 2 after being out for 3 months plus Mark Stone. Just wait until Mark Stone gets a little more comfortable and gets more of his wheels back and more of his instincts back. He's going to be even better. And right now he's our line three forward. So that says something about the depth of this team. I still think there's going to be a pretty big line mashup coming at some point. You can't keep him buried down there for that long. Really quick, also tomorrow, folks, if you're looking to share the game with your fellow Vegas Golden Knights fans, Dollar Loan Center will be hosting the watch party tomorrow. It's a 1:00 game. Doors open at 12, completely free. Go hang out with your fellow VGK fans. And I think me and little Chris at the least are going to be there. Not sure if the whole family is going to be there, but me and Chris will be there enjoying the game at the Dollar Loan Center tomorrow.
Okay, so 2 games in the PEG. So it's the series format 2-2-1-1-1 here in round number 1, in case a lot of the fans aren't familiar with that. And we saw McNabb, he blew an edge on the goal. Second goal for Winnipeg.
Bad luck. Bad ice.
And then Eichel, did you see they posted the speeds, but real briefly on TBS? The fastest skater on the ice was Jack Eichel, 23 miles per hour, and Stevenson second, 22.4. But that is Jackie Aces. He needed to be more offensive. He did. I don't care if he plays defense at this stage. Just have him shoot the puck and do what he does best and not have to think about the game. I think, and he tried to say, he said in the first game, he tried to do a little bit too much. And that's exactly what happened, was he was overthinking the process.
That's Buffalo Jack Eichel trying to do too much. He needs to be Vegas Jack Eichel, where trust your teammates, trust the environment around you, and just make the small plays. The big results will come.
Yeah, and I think VGK might have figured things out by going north-south through the neutral zone, utilizing their speed. Second period was key. But again, I think a very big key will be to not only just shoot the MF puck, but also to score early up there in Winnipeg and try to deflate that crowd both inside the arena and then all those folks with the whiteout outside the arena as well. No stinking.
It's fun, guys.
A flyover over an inside arena has got to be minus 160. They're going to have a
not in Series
flyover,
1. I think conference finals, you wait for the flyovers.
Coming up next, the much anticipated WTF. What the Friday? There are so many comments floating around. We'll get to that and much, much more. We return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick, your team every day. You could find us on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, at Locked On VGK, and on YouTube, Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe there and leave all those lovely comments, especially for me. I don't know how I became a polarizing figure in VGK land, but I do want to start off with, my first WTF. Let's go. Mark Stone, the narrative, the local media, of course. And now Stone comes back and he's the freshest. I mean, people look at it as, he's got so much rust in his game. And I have to look at it as a positive. He hasn't had to bang and bruise for the last 39 games heading into this series. Okay, local media, state-run media, they come up with, it's nice to get Mark Stone back into the lineup, especially as he prepares for the second and third rounds. I can't make this up. And Edmonton in the next round, just quit it, okay? This permeates the organization. Don't look ahead. They have to get out of this series first. WTF.
WTF, Tony Cordasco, for crediting Stevenson, Stone, the water boy, Chance, my beer server up in the back of 217, the person who took the pedals off of the bike, the person who left the Zamboni door open. Let's see who else, the flag guy, and everybody else before getting to William Karlsson.
Okay, that's fair. The WTF. Every time that there's a good play on national TV, good stick. That was such a good stick there. I could do the analysis. WTF. I have to go back to April the 7th, and that underscore guy 448 is pissed, and I have to make sure that I mention this because I promised that I would last week. Hey, Locked On VGK, I have a WTF. Can we stop saying in franchise history when referencing for VGK or Seattle? They haven't even been around a decade, and it's getting redundant. In franchise history, WTF. Okay, I use my line about Mark Stone. I use that like 50, 60 times, okay? I was just wearing it out about 420. My jokes about Mark Stone on 420, and then VGK's Twitter handle, nothing like getting Mark stoned on 420. WTF. I know that they follow me. Well, they don't follow me officially. They definitely sneak in looks because this is like the second or third time this season that they've taken something off of my stinking Twitter feed. WTF, Mr. Chris.
I'll go back to back. Actually, I got a few. WTF for the traffic around T-Mobile. A lot of people having a hard time getting out of there right now. And I get there's a lot of construction and stuff, but the people who are doing the traffic there, they're trying, they're just not prepared or trained to do it the right way. So WTF, Vegas Golden Knights, just to help the people leave the game in a timely manner that doesn't have them leave pissed off, for lack of a better term. WTF for my kid for always picking the friggin' away team right now. He's done it twice in a row. But Vegas has also won both times. So there's that. And then I owe myself a WTF. So I put out a tweet yesterday, just a little thing. It was basically a blank slate for Vegas. It showed the Tropicana exit being created over 15. It was all dirt around there. And so I put the VGK logo where T-Mobile is. I put the Athletics logo where that stadium most likely is going to go. And then I put the Raiders logo where they are. And this tweet went viral. It's up to 256,000 views. Golick's gone viral. I screwed up though. I did not put the Las Vegas
You
Aces in
missed
the
the
appropriate
Aces,
place.
the world champion.
Yeah, no, and that's and there was it was an oversight. There was nothing more or less to it than okay, all right, we got the Athletics, we got the Knights, we got the Raiders. I didn't, it was a simple oversight, so nothing was intentfully done. And I got called out, in many of the views, a lot of people. So I actually did update the picture, but you can't edit a tweet, obviously. At least I don't have that blue check mark. So maybe you can if you have. I don't care either about having the check mark. So WTF myself for forgetting about the Aces.
Okay, WTF, Tyler Hillman. Firstly, what is with this officiating in the series? Refs have missed so much, especially in game 2. Secondly, Stone was dead out there in game 1. It's kind of like the Undertaker, Chris. And then he comes back to game 2 with a fire in his eyes. WTF happened in a day. I think he got on the bicycle with just the one pedal. That's what I would say.
Supposedly that the one pedal wasn't a big deal, but a story did surface about the lights. I don't know if you talked about the lights
I did talk
in the
about
arena.
the lights. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that supposedly definitely happened, but the bike was just they gave him 5 bikes and one of them didn't have a pedal, so I think that was a little more overdone, so to speak. WTF for everyone for turning their back on Mark Stone, and no pun intended there with the back joke, but for turning their back on Mark Stone, thinking he, why is he out there and why is he playing so many minutes? Well, you got your answer last night, folks. Mark Stone looked like a different person. You cannot replicate. This is exactly what Shane and Eddie were saying in the game last night. You cannot replicate. You can't repeat. Dang it.
Replicate.
You cannot repeat game
repeat,
speed
yeah.
in practice. That's going to be a meme if someone really wants to hit that one right there. So Mark Stone going to be just fine. He's only going to get better. So WTF VGK fans for turning your back on Mark Stone.
WTF from Nick Bailey, Raider Nick 808. That was Jackie Ace's first playoff goal. Let's go. What the Friday? That's a pretty good one.
We need more positive
WTF
ones. We need more
Mark
positive
Stone.
ones.
WTF Mark Stone. That's it. That's the tweet at VGK_Mucky. WTF Friday by Diomaster. WTF Friday, a masterful game by the captain. I don't see yet. Did you see any mentions there of your top player of the game? No, I didn't see very many. No.
It's because they know you're on the show and it'll just get completely dismissed. So,
that's not true.
WTF Will Carrier. I think he might make the trip this weekend, and he's close to returning. And early on, before the series started, Coach Cassidy did mention we might see him, later on in the series. So you got to think the clock is ticking, and you wonder how the lineup's going to shake out. But same thing. Will Carrier might have a game of rust, but he can be on line 4 while he works out that rust. Then you figure it out from there. So WTF, how good can this team be with a healthy-ish, healing Will Carrier on the ice?
And so where does he go? Where would you slot him into the lineup, and who's the odd man out?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be Kolesar, but I think Kolesar would be the answer. I think, Will Carrier and Kolesar do have the same type of role as far as finishing their checks, playing good, tight, defensive hockey. Will Carrier can definitely do that while bringing a spark to the offensive side. I mean, someone like Brett Howden is the other one you look at, and I don't think that's the answer. I mean, Howden's been, he's been playing a little higher in the lines, so I don't think Howden's going to be that. It's probably Kolesar. I don't know if Cassidy will do that because Cassidy does like Kolesar, but I think the answer is Kolesar.
Okay.
And have him carry on line 4 without the line 3 responsibility. That's also huge for his game.
WTF VGK. What is up? What is up with on the hashtag the lack of the emoji? So hashtag Vegas born, and where is the shield? It doesn't pop up. Did VGK go very cheap on us? What happened here? What happened? Did they not pay for this? Is this part of losing the blue check? Come on, WTF. That blue check also gets a WTF this morning from us.
This is not even hockey related. WTF Reno. What happened to Reno? Reno used to be so much fun. It's so bad now. So bad. WTF Reno.
Yeah, it's very bad. And plus you got a little bit of the snow up there. So
I don't mind that part. It's walking around outside at 2 PM, not feeling safe, let alone at 10 at night when you're a few deep.
Okay, so weekend plans, you're going to go over So the Dollar Loan Center, and
Yeah.
not the place where you get the payday loans, which of course
They have one of
GPS.
those actually inside there too, if you need to.
Okay, on GP. Well, you would have taken out a loan if you saw VGK was a big, sizable underdog, I'm sure, in the series last night in the
Yeah,
first
but
series.
you give a lot of that juice back pretty fast if you need that loan for a week.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. We thank you so much for making us your first listen each and every day. And make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Lots of shenanigans, as you like to term it, that go on there and on the show. Another week in the books. And coming up on Monday's show, we will preview, obviously, Game 4 and recap game number 3. Enjoy the weekend, Chris and little Chris and the fam. It should be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be a pretty big crowd as fans are starting to get back on the bandwagon. My goodness. And for my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you again Monday right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.